pick up the camera and start recording. Let's see if just from that voice inflection you guys can figure that one out. Anyways, today has been a top 3. No, I'm kidding. Probably like a top 50 if I'm honest, because I've had a lot of really good days, but this one was particularly interesting, and thus it inspires today's topic, which is serendipity, because today was serendipitous. Over the past 2 weeks, as I've talked about a lot, I've tried to do a lot more listening. A lot less talking and a lot more listening. And it doesn't mean when I'm talking to someone, I'm just listening to them. I just mean more broadly in terms of how I'm viewing everything around me. How I'm taking in opportunities. How I'm looking at the things around me and seeing opportunities and things that otherwise wouldn't necessarily look like an opportunity. And then I'm taking the action to pursue those opportunities. And so today, I had an incredible conversation, absolutely fascinating, what this one guy was working on, just out of nowhere. So I overheard him talking, thought it was interesting, started talking to him about it. I thought that was the highlight, but later on, I heard some words that I thought were interesting, genuinely interesting, as with the other guy, genuinely interesting. And I went up and started talking to the person. They're very nice. And it was a lot of luck that I was able to create for myself today, because I recognized and I was open to the opportunities and I listened. And a key part of that is the fact that it was genuine. You ever go into a networking event, maybe like in high school or college, and it's like from 4 to 5 we're gonna network. Almost every single time I've been in a networking event, it's just not genuine. It's almost like forcing two humans to talk. And it almost feels fake. Not to say that great opportunities don't get created out of that. There's plenty of great opportunities that I've had out of forced networking. But it isn't as flowy, doesn't feel as real as when you're genuinely actually just connecting with someone over some genuine interest. And so when I'm listening to people and I'm listening to everything happening around me and I'm seeing opportunities, I mentioned Kobe a little bit, where Kobe would see everything through basketball's lens. And so opportunities that wouldn't be related to basketball, for most people, he would see as related to basketball. And so same thing here, when you're listening and working on stuff that you are genuinely interested in, and you're seeing the world through this genuine perspective, and you pursue things genuinely, then it makes all the conversations natural, because it's coming from a place out of love. It's coming out of your heart. One of the feelings I was grappling with today was excitement. And when you're seeing the world as so opportunistic and there's all these opportunities popping up and it becomes incredibly exciting, it's easy to almost sit back and relax. At least I've felt this way. And people I've interacted with, it sounds like the same. And what I found to be very beneficial is to take a deep breath, to feel the excitement in your chest, and then to double down and stay true to what works and what matters and what you're working on. I remember my junior year, first semester, or maybe sophomore year, second semester, I'd switched into computer engineering, and I had the goal to get a 4.0. And I studied harder than I had ever studied. To give you perspective, if there was an exam, I would look to be fully prepared like 2 weeks out of the exam, to the point where I would take a practice exam and I would have to feel like I got 100. If I didn't, I would retake the practice exam. And then that was 2 weeks before. And then this is what I mean. Exactly when you think you should slow down, it feels good and you're excited. The next 2 weeks, I would just heads down, same thing, just over and over again. Doing problems until they were so ingrained in my head that I was fully confident that I was going to get an 100. And obviously you get onto the exam and I'd mess up, wouldn't get an 100. But I'd go into the exam with the genuine feeling in my heart that I was going to get an 100. I would go to sleep thinking about the problems over and over again and force myself to, where you think actively. Because you can think passively, but you know what I mean when you put effort into your thought. And I would think with a lot of effort, and I would go through all my memories of the different problems and everything, just over and over again until I just couldn't. I'd just fall asleep. And I'd go to sleep thinking about the problems. And so I just put myself in a position where I had done everything I could to succeed. And it worked extremely well. And I relate that to this because there's this feeling of excitement. But I think when these opportunities pop up and you're seeing them all over the place, you take a deep breath and you almost don't let them faze you, and you just double down on whatever you're doing. You double down on getting prepared, on preparing yourself for the opportunities to come to you, so that when they come, you're just fully ready to go. And that way, the serendipity that occurs in life, you take full advantage of it. It's like when the exam, it's like instead of the exam being on a set date, like 2 weeks from now, you just get in a random exam in life. If you're ready for it, you're ready. If you're not, maybe it'll work out. But you can try to give yourself the best shot to take advantage of that serendipity as it comes. So hopefully some of that makes sense. I found it to be extremely, extremely helpful. And it's like, again, it's like life's a little canvas that you're painting on. And you just get to move and let everything come to you and put the painting together as the colors arise. So the birds are telling me they've heard enough. So we're gonna shut this one off, but hopefully some of this clicked for you guys. And I will likely be back on in the morning. So we'll talk soon. Peace.